telling children today that they are big boned. Stop telling them they are big.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. You're here with me, Tracey, on Everything Tracey TV, where we talk about self-love, lifestyle and business. So let's get into the video. We'll be discussing what self-love is and exactly how I got to discovering my self-love. Yeah, how I got to self-love. So what exactly is self-love? And I'm looking at my hair, I'm thinking, must I dye it again? I'm in the mood to be blonde. Anyway, so what exactly is self-love? So I'm going to read it for you. This is from Google. I love Google. Self-love is defined as the love of self or regard for one's own happiness or advantage. Now, as kids, we were taught that everyone's feelings were more important than our own. Am I right? I'm not sure if I said this in the previous video because something happened with the footage there, but anyway, I'm just going to say it again if I didn't say it. Now, as kids, we were taught that our feelings are not that important, right? There was a saying that went around. I don't know if they still say it. If they do, that is ridiculous. There's a saying that goes, children should be seen and not heard. Children should be seen and not heard. And at the time, even up until today, I still see in certain with certain households, children's feelings and emotions are not taken into consideration. That is how we grew up. That is how we grew up. You don't have a say. You don't have an emotion. If you were wrongfully beaten, you were beaten because you saying that you were wrongfully beaten, or if you were still upset about being scolded or being beaten, you would get the question, what's your quiet for me? What's your quiet? Why would you say that? Like, how can you scold at someone and then ask, are you not angry? Am I not supposed to have that kind of emotion? Am I not supposed to feel a certain way because whatever just happened now? Okay, so our responsibility as children was to make sure that our parents were happy, make sure our family was happy, make sure that we don't put our family's name in shame, make sure that you uphold the values of the family, make sure that you are prepared for your future partner. We didn't talk about that. And your happiness, you don't consider your happiness. You need to be okay with, and this went both ways. I'm not just referring to whether you're a woman, whether you're a man. This went in both ways. That's why there's so much unhappy people, because you were taught from a young age that your purpose in life was to make someone else happy instead of being happy with you and doing things that makes you happy, you know. So now when I was younger, sorry, I just heard something outside. Now, when I was younger, somebody called me conceited. Somebody called me conceited. I'm gonna stop lifting my head up like that because you guys can see in my nose. Somebody called me conceited, and I think at the time I was about 8, maybe 10, and obviously I didn't know what that word meant, but it did affect me. It did affect me because I was a very confident child. Like I said in my previous video, I was an overachiever. That comment made me feel like who I was, and what I looked like, being confident, wasn't accepted because I was a chubby kid. I was chubby. And up until that comment, I liked my chubbiness. I'm still chubby, cute and cuddly. Up until that comment, I was okay. I was okay with being chubby. But after that, I started feeling like maybe I'm not supposed to look this way. And then I started getting the comments. Guys, I'm going to get used to looking at this damn camera. And then after that, I started getting the comments. You must know the comments. See my cup? The comments of when you got into gatherings or funerals or family birthdays or whatever, and then the older people will be like, "Oh, you're so fat. You look like a big lady." Why do people do that? Why do people do that? Why do people do that? And then the adults in my life, like, I'm not gonna say all of it. Like some my aunties, my family, they were very supportive in that way. They always try to motivate you, always try to make you feel better. Or when outsiders, like my mother's cousins, or my auntie, my mother, my auntie's cousins, those kind of people. If they say things like that, then my aunties will always say, "But she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Yes, she's still beautiful." You say that, yes, she's still beautiful. So in that way, I really had that kind of support. But I'm not saying, but it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that those kind of words didn't affect me, you know? And then and then people will say stupid stuff like, "You big boned." What? What is big boned? What is big boned? Why would you tell children that? Why would you tell a child that's 8 or 9 years old, "You big boned"? Don't worry, you big boned. That's all baby fat, but you're telling people they're big boned. Why? Why did you say that? Huh? Please stop telling children that if you're still telling children today that they are big boned, stop telling them they are big boned. Instead, tell them things like, your weight does not define you. How much we love you is not connected to how heavy you are or how light you are. That your personality is what we love. And tell them things like, if you really want to lose the weight, we can make a way for you to lose the weight. We can work together for you to feel more confident in who you are. Those are the kind of things that you tell kids. I'm not blaming anybody, because the more I'm learning about myself and the more I do shadow work, the more I journal. Yes, I'm going to talk a lot about journaling, and if you don't like it and you're getting sick of it, then rather leave it now, because we can talk every day about journaling. So the more I do that, the more I'm realizing I can't point a finger at anybody. And that is what self-love is about. It's not just about loving who you are on the outside, but it's finding the faults and seeing the faults without pointing a finger at anybody. So fast forward to many years later, and in our time, about what year are we in now? Maybe three years ago, 4 years ago, there around that time. Excuse me. I think I was about 28 or 29, and I was the heaviest that I have ever been, ever been. And I picked up weight so quickly, but I picked up weight because I don't know if you know what PCOS is. If you know what that is, then just tell me in the comments. Say I know what PCOS is. So I picked up weight so quickly because of that. Is it a disease? I'm not sure. We're gonna look. I'm looking a little bit more into it. But because of that condition, I picked up weight so quickly. Like in a matter of months. I felt like a whale. I was calling myself a whale. And it was so bad. That I was too afraid to leave the house. I didn't want to leave the house because I didn't feel or look good, according to me. I didn't fit in anything that I had in my cupboard. The only thing that I could wear was my tracksuit pants, and that is why I'm still in the tracksuit pants still today, because it's so comfortable for me. And it's something that I'm breaking free from. And it was so bad that I wouldn't go out with people. Like, I would be afraid to get into people's cars because I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if everybody would fit at the back on the back seat. That's fucked up. Oh, sorry. That is so fucked up. Like, oh, I just walked in. So that is where my self-love journey started. It started, I think, if I have to go to an exact day, it started the day I cut all my hair off. Yes, people, I had a number one. Can you believe it? And now she's so beautiful and luscious. But yeah, that day, I think that is the day that I think it was that day, yes. That was the day that I just thought to myself, this is the journey that I need to be on. And since then, I have been working not only on the weight situation, but also on loving myself no matter what I look like. Because I would like to have kids one day, and there are certain things that I vowed to myself that I would heal from before I have kids. You wouldn't want to instill the same kind of fear, the same kind of negativity, the same kind of behavior patterns or mindsets into children that you bear. Oh, I decide that to work through this mess, because life gets busy, and it's even more busy when you have a kid. So the weight wasn't the weight wasn't the only thing that brought me to the self-love, but it definitely was the vehicle, because it was one of the biggest things in my life that I took from that day when somebody told me I was conceited. From that day, 8 years old, many years later, not going to tell you how many years, many years later, and it really crushed me. So that was the biggest obstacle in my past, the biggest thing I needed to heal from, the biggest obstacle in my past, and the biggest thing that was holding me back of just being who I was authentically, fully and completely. So there you have it, guys. I suggest that you go out. Wait, where's my thing? I suggest that you go out to your closest store and get yourself a hardcover book, because you're gonna want to join. You're gonna want to, trust me. Now you can get yourself a pretty little bookie if you want to, but I do the A4 size, so you can see mine. It says self-love and shadow work, and I've got a whole lot of positive stuff on the top and on the bottom. This has brought me through a lot of shit. And that is what I'm here to do, spread love and light. Amen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please follow my channel. Please subscribe, show some love. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.